A Jewish cook sliced open a loaf of bread worth 500,000 marks, then ladled potato soup onto it, distributing it to his fellow Jews who had been starving for 3 days. The Germans discovered that the cook was secretly feeding everyone, and they immediately rewarded him with a lash, causing his head to bleed. The soldiers knocked over the bread bowl and kicked over the potato soup. They raised the whip again and continued to beat the Jewish cook. The other Jews united, gnawing on the bread, indifferently watching as the cook was beaten. In revenge, the Jewish cook lured a German officer into the kitchen, lying that he had prepared a grand meal. When the officer lifted the pot lid, the Jewish cook grabbed a pocket knife and hid it behind his back. The German officer approached and questioned him, and at that moment, the cook killed the officer. A smile spread across the cook's face, and he decided to kill all the German officers in the camp. Next, he polished the dagger with a tool and hid the axe in his clothes, pretending to repair a boiler. A Jewish teenager stole 2 rifles from the armory, hid them in the chimney, and casually walked out. The armed Jews immediately took action, luring a German officer to try on his shoes, then attacking him from behind with an axe. However, the officer turned just in time to avoid the blow, and the surrounding Jews rushed in, covering the German officer's mouth, and then pulling out pocket knives to kill him. Next, they lured another German officer into the tailor shop, under the pretense of trying on clothes. No sooner had the officer put on his leather jacket than the Jews rushed out and strangled him to death. Using various ambushes, the Jews killed 15 German officers. When the last officer was left, the Jews destroyed the communication equipment to prevent the Germans from calling for reinforcements. Meanwhile, the last German officer was on patrol when he found a Jewish child. The child's mother begged the officer to spare her child's life, but the officer refused. The mother spat in the German's face and then took the opportunity to snatch her child back. Enraged, the officer pulled the trigger. The officer then returned to his office, only to find blood on the door. He followed the blood trail into the office and discovered a dead body. Realizing that the Jews were attempting to escape, a German officer hurriedly picked up the phone to call for help, but the line had been cut. With no other choice, he ordered his soldiers to notify the others. The Jews realized they had been exposed and immediately told everyone to scatter and escape. The Germans opened fire, and the bullets swept wildly toward the Jews. But the Jews fought back through the rain of bullets, pushing through the barbed wire. However, the perimeter of the camp was covered with 100,000 landmines, and behind them, German machine guns kept firing. Many Jews fell at that spot. In the end, half of the 600 Jews managed to escape,